Okay, what's up, everybody? Today is something a little bit different. Today, I want to go into a mini dive into right hand technique for bluegrass rhythm guitar. Super, super important concept to dive into and to understand and to really experiment with. I've found a few things along the way in my bluegrass guitar journey, in my learning and my teaching, that work really well for me. These might also work for you, but really everyone's hand and biology and the way our systems work are different. So you can be the judge and test it against your body and playing in a real setting. So today I want to talk about right hand technique when we're strumming. The main strumming pattern we're going to be talking about or using for today is just boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck, right? And I want to impart two specific ideas into right hand technique onto you. The first one is about pick grip. A lot of times when I see students who are struggling with right hand technique and rhythm guitar, what they say to me is that I feel like my right hand is getting hung up on the strings when I'm strumming. I certainly know this feeling, right? You can replicate it pretty easily. And what I do to replicate my right hand getting hung up is holding the pick too tight with too much tension in the wrist and too much pressure. In other words, your right hand will kind of look something like this, right? Really, really tight. And then, so when we go away from boom chuck and try to go boom a chucka, subdivide, it's impossible. So it's about tension, particularly in the wrist, and then also in the pick. So really, you want a loose wrist. It's super important to rhythm guitar, especially when you're playing fast. The classic example of what you want is if your hand was dunked in water and you were just trying to flick it off, that wrist action is what you want. Now, of course, bluegrass guitar, it's a combination of getting power from your elbow and your wrist. It's not just wrist, but what is important is some mobility and fluidity of that wrist. In turn, with that wrist, equally as important to me is how tight between your pointer finger and your thumb you are gripping this pick. I think it is so crucial to hold the pick when you're strumming with a very light touch. I think that when people say, I'm getting hung up, what they mean is that there's no give. There's no give to their pick grip. So that when they hit the string, it just goes, right? You kind of get like that instead of this give. So as you can see, when I do this, right, the pick wants to flip out of my hand. So what your job is to make sure that you're holding this pick with the amount of pressure it will take to give a little bit of give, but not get flung out of your hand. It's a little bit of a tightrope walk. But this is gonna make you feel like you're not getting hung up on strings anymore, and then also it's gonna allow you to play at much faster speeds because you're gonna be able to glide over the strings a lot easier. So I'll play an example. I hope you can hear this. I can, from my vantage point of where my ear is and where this treble sound is coming back to me, I can hear this loud and clear, these two differences. And the two differences are holding a pick really, really firm with limited wrist mobility and getting hung up, as opposed to loose wrist and loose but steady pointer finger thumb grip, right? First example, getting hung up. Here's what it sounds like to me. Right? Just too much. Now here's loose. Right, you can hear it's almost like a washboard that, right, here's super loose, here's super tight. I'm getting hung up, loose, hung up, okay? So that's a huge thing. And I think it could be a game changer for you and your rhythm playing. Second thing that I want to just mention really quick especially when I'm playing quicker with a light touch, it is, with my right hand, I actually want to rotate the way the pick is grazing across the strings. So instead of the pick going just straight, like if these are the strings, instead of the pick just going boom like that, I'm actually going to angle the pick this way so that I'm kind of just grazing with that right there rather than just straight on. So, right, if this is straight on, I'm kind of going like that. I know you can't see this from my angle, so that I'm able to just catch it with an edge rather than straight on. That's also going to help you stop getting hung up. Rather, here's how it sounds, right? Here's flat against. Here's just angling your pick, right? Just practice going like this. See how, no pattern, just feel what it feels like to graze, right? Totally different feeling, really helps you stay loose and helps you stop getting hung up on rhythm guitar. I hope those two things helped you. What I was just teaching you is just a really bite-sized piece of my course that is coming out in March. It's going to be a live course. It's going to be beginner oriented, but really working on the foundations of bluegrass rhythm guitar. So if you're a beginner and need some help figuring out what to practice when it comes to rhythm guitar, you want to become a solid rhythm player, a go-to rhythm player at your jam, this is for you. But also if you're more intermediate, even somewhat advanced, and you need to go back and you've realized you need to re-solidify your foundations of rhythm guitar. This is something that happened to me. I jumped into all the fancy stuff first, and then I went to jams and realized, oh, I don't really have my fundamentals down as good as I think I do. So this course is going to be beginner oriented, but really anybody can benefit from it. This was just a small piece of what I will be teaching in that course. 3 live Zoom sessions, interactive. You'll be on the call, be able to ask questions as we go, 90 minutes each in the month of March. But really what I think is super cool is that so many people ask me, how do I practice rhythm guitar? Of course, there's the what, which is what we'll cover in the Zoom lessons, but how do I practice? And so what I've done is also I've created a 14-day day-by-day daily study guide with examples, backing tracks, worksheets to help you create a practice routine for yourself. And this can be used as a model that you can kind of take with you to practice rhythm guitar upwards and onwards. And so you'll get access to that as well, lifetime access. If you can't make the lives, they're also going to be recorded. You can pre-submit questions. I'm super excited about it. I'm amped on it. That was just an example of what we're going to be covering. If you want to hear more about this course, it's only going to be open for a limited amount of time, so don't miss out. If you want to hear about when it opens, when it closes, then please sign up for my mailing list on my website, alexcraftmusic.com, or in the link in the description. I hope you have a great day. Hope you learned something from this, and I'm looking forward to learning more with you at my rhythm course. Cheers.